Good morning. Welcome back to Sending Ravens. Let's see what the Ravens are sending us today. Oh boy, the Lovers. Oh, and the Page of Cups. In the past, we've got the Nine of Swords. Oh boy, now the Tower. Wow. Now the Lovers is interesting because it came as ourselves. So the first card I laid down in this spread, when I do this morning spread, the Lovers represents us or whoever's watching. The querent, they call it, or, the person getting the reading. And the situation around that person today. That's how I lay out the cards. Okay, so the card placement is really important because this card could mean a lot of things in different places, but because it's internal, so now it's about you or about me or whoever's, this card reading is about, the querent, the person we're talking about. Okay, the Lovers. Now it's more internal, so it's more of an archetype. So we are this card. So it's obviously not about relationships. It's more about our maybe internal relationship with ourselves. We're trying to find balance within ourselves. So you have to take the card meaning and put it in context to where the card comes in the reading. And the question. Okay, so the question is what's going on for our day. This comes up as ourselves. So now we got to talk about the card that way. So it's not always meaning a relationship or choices in relationships or feeling romantic. You may be feeling in a romantic mood though, right? You may be, because the Lovers can be, there can be a bit of a romantic energy to the Lovers. Like it could be, because it's internal, it could just be in your own energy, right? You're feeling like you'd like to start a relationship, or if you're in one, you're feeling kind of romantic, or you want some romance to happen in the relationship. You're feeling a little amorous, something like that. You're certainly feeling congruent and in balance, because if this is archetypal. Now this is interesting because the Tower comes up. Oh, and another way you could read this, if it's a person, and now it's badly aspected. So now I'm going to change what I just said. It's badly aspected because these two cards are around it. So now I'm going to change. If this was well aspected, like this card was right next to it, that's nicely aspected. And this card wasn't here. There was something else nicer here. This is really dark and dreary. Okay, so if the Lovers was well aspected, it would mean you were in balance and feeling in a romantic mood and looking for love and wanting to be loving. And very diplomatic. There's a real diplomacy to that card, and in touch with your masculine and your feminine. But as an archetype that's badly aspected now the card says you're on a crossroads maybe, and you're thinking about leaving a relationship, is what I'd say about that. Now, it doesn't have to be a lovership type relationship. It could just be a friendship. It could be just an important relationship, a work-based relationship, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so in the past, we've got something created a lot of stress, or something that's been very stressful, okay? That card does indicate that a lot of the things you're stressing about are not necessarily going to be the case, by the way. All those swords are going the wrong way, so this card could be unnecessary stress, okay? But certainly you've been stressed, it looks like, whoever this card reading is about, okay? And possibly about a relationship with someone, a connection with someone that's important, okay? And something has created an upheaval between you and somebody else, okay? So an upheaval. So this card could even be fighting, tumultuous, feeling like you've had a revelation about them or about the relationship. Okay, so you've had a revelation, and sometimes the revelation, so here I'm going to really broaden it here. maybe somebody's had a revelation that what they thought was a friendship has a romantic flavor to it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does put you on notice and create maybe you to have to make a choice. What are you going to do if a friend turns, or a coworker turns romantic? Because this card now says somebody, because this is apart from you and it's affecting you. It's in the reading and it's affecting you because it's on the other side here. So the situation surrounding you, okay? And this is in the atmosphere between you two. So you may have been friends with someone or co-working with someone, okay? And they make an overture, like a romantic overture, or surprise you with an emotional connection, and you weren't expecting it. And I feel like it creates an upheaval. So you're like, oh my goodness, okay, I didn't realize it was like that, right? Now the world comes as the outcome, the world. So things go around full circle. They come to balance again because they're a little out of balance here, just because you weren't expecting something. I think something happened that you weren't expecting. I think it's that simple. And it's around the potential of either a work romance, like a work opportunity, maybe even, because this card could mean creative opportunity, but you weren't expecting it. And it'll create maybe a partnership at work. Or we could get more personal about it and say somebody that you thought was a friend or a work colleague becomes romantically, sort of makes an overture of some kind. Not a very big overture because the page is small. Okay, so the energy is not huge, but it surprised you and sort of turned everything different. Now you feel a little weird, around them. Okay, and until you figure out what you're doing. Now it all gets sorted out though, because the world says everything, you're safe, and everything turns out and takes it up to another plateau with that world. The world is, you come out of it landing on both feet, feeling really safe, back to a comfortable world, that sort of thing. So this all gets sorted out. And here's how it gets sorted out. This is your advice. The Magician, talk it over and state your boundaries and be really clear, because this Emperor states boundaries and he has a lot of clarity. So if you're not okay with, and I got a feeling with this card in the past, the overture that happened or the kind of potential thing that was being offered, okay, that was surprising and caught you off guard. If you're not okay with it, it's easily righted with that world coming out as the end result, easily righted through communicating your boundary clearly. So even if you were flattered and or you liked the overture, maybe it's just not appropriate in the situation somehow, or it needs a conversation just to define where you sit with it, right? Because the Emperor defines and is very clear and very direct. So it's saying communicate directly, regardless what you want to do here. Just be direct and things will go back to a comfortable place. Isn't that interesting? Wow. I'm going to pull two more. Yeah. Communicate again. The big thing here being just communicate. Even if you're not 100% sure, does that really happen? Did they really make a pass or whatever? Or is that opportunity really being offered? Okay, and you know what? Just ask, because this card says broach the subject, page again. So it's not, you don't have to have a big in-depth conversation about it. What do they really mean by that? No, but you could say, hey, so am I reading that right? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just talk about it, nudge about it, start the conversation. And it doesn't, like I say, have to be a really big deal. You could just, question it a little bit. Or you ask for clarity. Now we've got the Sun, like even say, did I read this correctly? Here's what I'm getting. And then they can say, well, no, actually, do you know what I mean? Or yes, actually. Right? So just ask if you were getting that correct, right? And now we've got the Sun. And I think everything will be really rosy. I think it'll go way better by just saying something. So to not say anything and leave things awkward, not a good idea. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. And do like and share the videos if you're enjoying them, and subscribe if you haven't already.